When I think about Tua, listen, there's two names that come up when you look at him and in terms of his potential NFL prospects. I mean, he would definitely be a top 3 pick in my estimation. We know what he did last year and throwing for 3,966 yards, 43 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions. I didn't particularly like his performance against Clemson in the national championship game, but that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is you think Russell Wilson, because of height, his mass, strong legs, things of that nature, even though he doesn't appear to be as durable because he has been injured on a few occasions since he was the quarterback of at Alabama last year. But the other guy that comes to mind is Steve Young, although he would be considerably shorter than Steve Young because I think Steve Young was like 6'2" or 6'3", but a lefty, can run with the football, but basically sees the field and sees openings before they even occur, leads his receivers to open spots, etc. The accuracy with which he throws, we got to take all of that into consideration. When you look at a Kyler Murray, you think Michael Vick or somebody along those lines, with the elusivity portion to his game, his ability to run, obviously that motor that he has. Not to say that Tua can't run, because we know that he can run with the football, but his accuracy as a passer is what he's been lauded for, and I give him credit for that. So I look at it from that perspective, and I would tell you that he compares with anybody because of his ability to pass the football. But I agree with Max. Durability is definitely a question mark with Tua, because Tua, even though he's played hurt week after week after week, we heard he wasn't 100%. And that brings into question durability on the next level, because if you were hurt a lot in college, obviously you're going to get some nicks and knacks in the pros.
Yeah, I look at Tua and I see one of the most natural young passers that I've ever seen, like ever evaluated. And listen, he has 3 potential first-round wide receivers he's throwing to. He has a tight end who was a second-round draft pick this past year. He has an offensive line that protects him. So he's got everything around him, and I understand that. But you just watch his tape, and it's different. It really is. His ability to go from one side of the field to the other, keep his feet tied to his eyes, and then throw with anticipation, timing, perfect trajectory. I mean, that throw in the Georgia game was ridiculous, obviously, and he made a lot of those types of throws. Now, you're right. The durability is going to be the concern. That's the one thing we're going to talk about, and we want to see this next season. Can he hold up physically? Because he wasn't the same guy down the stretch. Against Georgia, against Clemson, I think 4 of his 6 interceptions came in those 2 games. How does he play against the elite defenses, and does he hold up physically for the whole season? Are going to be the 2 big questions.
Hey,
but
Todd,
I love
Todd,
his ability. Yeah.
Todd, I'm dying to ask you this question. Could you explain to me what happened in that national championship game from this perspective? Tua, forget the outcome, because we know that Clemson just rolled over them. But Tua and Alabama's offense scored just 3 points after the first quarter, and they were shut out in the second half. What did you think that was a product of as it pertains to Tua in that particular game?
I think they gave him a lot of different looks that he hadn't seen. And they made cover 3 look like cover 4. They made cover 2 look like cover 3. And I think it's going to be interesting to watch, because now teams have been able to spend the offseason studying what they did. Now, it's not just the quarterback. It's the whole offense that struggled. And when you have a front 4 with 4 guys getting drafted, 3 in the first round, you're able to do different things defensively that a lot of teams can't do, because you can rush 4, get some pressure, and then play a lot of different games in the backfield. But at the end of the day, it is something to watch, because they made him confused, and it was the first time I've seen him beat up. I've seen him struggle physically. It was the first time mentally that I'd seen Tua struggle in terms of what he was seeing versus what the reality was post-snap.
He was also in against, Trevor Lawrence is best quarterback prospect I've seen.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence, that was one of the best performances I've ever seen.
Ever.
To see
Todd,
those three throws real quickly, the first 3 throws he had when he airmailed them, and you're talking national championship game against Nick Saban's defense, and then to rebound and have the confidence in yourself to go do what he did. I mean,
that's what I want to talk about with Tua.
For Tua, but 2 years from now, I think he's the guy, Trevor.
No question. He's better than all these guys, I believe. But that's what I want to touch on with Tua. Because we're comparing Kyler Murray and Tua. What is it about Kyler Murray? I know he went 1 overall. A lot of that's because of Cliff Kingsbury and Arizona and the whole thing. What is it about him that doesn't inspire the same kind of belief, it seems to me, that we seem to have in Tua? He's accurate, Kyler Murray. He's fast. He has a strong arm. He doesn't turn the ball over. It seems to me he checks all the boxes, and yet we have this feeling about Tua that's just different. How can you describe that?
I think everyone was all in for the first 8-9 weeks of the college season last year, and then all of a sudden Tua had some hiccups with the staying healthy and also with the big games against the big defenses. So I don't think there's a huge difference, although they're different quarterbacks to a certain degree. Kyler's obviously a little smaller. Tua's not a big guy, but he's 6 foot. He's 218 pounds is what he measured in at. And I think he's a more natural passer. But there's not a huge distance between the two. And then when you look at Kyler, he's more explosive as a runner, although Tua can take off and run, and he's mobile and will extend plays as well. So there's not a huge difference. But I do agree with you. I think perception is that Tua is a much better quarterback. But the reality is that Kyler, I mean, there's not a big difference between the two, in my opinion at least.